I'm not a rock fan, per se, but I think my musical criticism is valid. You're watching the Joe Sonus review of Blackstar, the 25th and probably final album by British rock star David Bowie. But who knows, they might pull Michael Jackson on us. Don't worry guys, the panic review is coming. So the very first review I ever did on this channel was of another classic rock artist's recent release, that of Jack White's Lazaretto, and it was pretty terrible considering I had no idea what I was doing. But given that Bowie is such an influential and classic voice in rock and pop and just music in general, and the immense amount of albums that he's pumped out over the years, I'm a little intimidated even now that I know a little bit more about how this album review thing works. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, David Bowie, rock performer and multi-instrumentalist, has been at it since the 60s up until he very recently passed away, tragically, and really he needs no further instruction than that. And sadly, this album will probably sell a lot better and be talked about a lot more now that he's dead than it would have if it had been released while he was alive. And even if you were never really a big fan of his while he was alive, you should still be sad because he influenced so many different types of music, from pop to electronic to alternative rock, really everything. This record is essentially a goodbye album. We see Bowie reflecting back on his life as such a huge music icon. He takes a very solemn, calm, and graceful exit from the stage, so to speak. The thing is, he had struggled with liver cancer, and he knew the terminal nature of his disease for a while. This new record is a parting gift, where he looks back at his life, fully aware of how iconic he was and how much of an effect he had on the face of music. He's sort of sadly yet humbly accepting his death. He's not looking for anything new or exciting here, or to push the boundaries of music any further than he already has. He'd already done that. This is just meant to be a sort of morbid perspective on his life now that had been coming to a close, which I suppose was appropriate. He's sort of using the old David Bowie style, but incorporating a sense of moodiness and melancholy. Like on the first track, Blackstar, which clocks in at nearly 10 minutes long and starts off solemn and very serious with kind of weird layered vocals, but towards the end it gains a bit more energy with punchy drums and mellow guitar, and he talks about how he's not a pop star or a rock star or a movie star, he's a black star, which I suppose is supposed to be commentary on his career. Kind of depressing, actually. Another element that appears quite a lot on this album is mellow, mournful horns, like on the track Lazarus, which is accented with these melancholy saxophone hooks, and it contains a lot of commentary on the rich lifestyle that David Bowie experienced, and he presents it as if he's already reached heaven and is speaking beyond the grave. So yeah, a lot of very serious angst on this thing. And the vocals aren't quite as polished as some of his other work, which I personally am okay with. Especially on the track Girl Loves Me, where he incorporates his apparently deteriorating voice in a very tasteful way. He sort of just rolls with the voice cracks and makes it work. Deteriorating. Then we have the track Sue, in parentheses, or in a season of crime, and this shows the very angsty, oh, this is so unfair side of his situation. It's very muddy and dissonant, especially as it unravels towards the end, and it shows the real turmoil and hardship he had to go through. But then we have the almost polar opposite track, Dollar Days, which shows him sort of calmly accepting his fate. He talks about how even though he might not have achieved everything that he wanted to, things are going to be okay. These different ways in which Bowie tackles the subject of death might make the album seem kind of disjointed, but really these different perspectives gel together pretty well. Then we have the track I Can't Give Everything Away, which calls to mind some 80s nostalgia like The Cure or Let's Dance era Bowie. But then again, there's that element of melancholy with the contemplative lyrics pretty much summed up by the title, I can't give everything away before I die. So on the surface level, this album is very diverse, with songs going from very angsty to more cheerful, like on the track "'Tis a Pity She Was a Whore," to then more of a solemn mood. If you dig a little bit deeper, you'll find that they all follow the same theme. Although with its morbidness, it's not as enjoyable as some of his other work. The way I see it is that David Bowie's goal in creating this record was to revisit and then wrap up his career, and I think it does this very effectively. So at the end of the day, it accomplished what Bowie was setting out to do, and I'll give Blackstar a 77%. I'll see you later.